Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of Homemade. And today you all, again, we are making one of my favorite dishes. I love this dish. It's so simple. It's filling, but it's just not so heavy. And it is fish tacos. It is so simple. This fish taco, we are going to have a mango salsa. We're going to prepare a cabbage slaw. We're not going to use lettuce. And we're also going to prepare our drizzle, meaning just our sauce for the taco. And again, everything is so simple. I promise you can start making this taco and it can be ready to eat within 10 minutes. It's just that simple. So we're going to go ahead and cut our skillet on to preheat. Now, these are pan-seared tacos. If you want to grill them, that is totally fine. If you want to fry them, that's fine. But the reason I don't like the fried version is because, again, we're looking for something that's not heavy, that's really simple and easy to prepare. It's filling, but it's not going to be just so packed full of grease and calories. So again, I like to pan sear these. Now, for this recipe, I'm only using 2 fillets. Now, you can use tilapia, cod, whatever type of fish that you like to use. I like to use cod and tilapia for this, either one. So here I do have just 2 regular tilapia fillets, and we're going to season this. Now, we are going to coat our fish in a little bit of avocado oil. It's really important to remember that if you're pan searing your fillets for this recipe, you want to use an oil that has a high smoke point. So that means you don't want to use anything like olive oil, because olive oil does have a tendency to smoke up really easily. So you want to use something like grape-seed oil, avocado oil, and even if you don't have those, a little bit of vegetable oil does work also, but you don't want to have your heat so high with the vegetable oil. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, we're going to coat our fillets, and I've already washed my fillets. I've patted them dry, and I'm just going to put on maybe like a dab of avocado oil, and make sure that both of your fillets are really coated with the oil. It's going to help your seasonings stick to your fillets. And for my seasonings, you all, I only have a half a tablespoon of paprika. I have a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. I have a teaspoon of onion powder. I do have a half a teaspoon of Creole Seasoning. And that's all we have in here. I can feel my skillet starting to get hot. So in here, I'm going to place just maybe like a tablespoon of our avocado oil, because you do want to make sure that your skillet, it is greased really well. And that is just to keep our fish from sticking. So I just like to kind of take my tongs or a fork or spoon or whatever. Just make sure everything is coated. So now our skillet is hot enough. We are going to place them in the fleshy side down. And we're going to let these cook for about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. I'm going to just peel my mango. So I just like to take my knife and find that seed in there and get as close to the seed as I possibly can on each side. We'll just chop up our mango into small pieces. Now we'll chop up our avocado. And for our avocado, of course, you will find the seed. You'll go all the way around. It comes apart just like that. You'll just take your spoon and go all the way around. It pulls your avocado all the way out. And I'm going to go ahead and flip my fish. For our mango salsa, we are going to use 1 tablespoon of garlic. We're going to also use a tablespoon of our avocado oil. I'm going to put half of my purple onion, because remember, this is an entire purple onion that's chopped up, so I'm going to put half. I'm also going to put my peppers in. I'm also going to put my tomatoes in. We are going to use black pepper. We're also going to use some Creole or Cajun seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder. Okay, so our fish is done, you all. It is cooked for 4 minutes per side. So we're going to go ahead, take it out, and I'm going to finish preparing our salsa. We're going to put a little salt to taste on it. And with the salt, I would say with the seasonings, You can do a tablespoon of each one. It just depends on how much you're using, but you don't want to go overboard. And we're also going to squeeze some fresh lime juice in there. We're also going to put maybe like a teaspoon of white wine. Now we're going to mix this up really well. It is now time for us to start preparing our slaw. And you all, for your slaw, you want to use about a fourth of a small cabbage. You don't have to use a lot because it actually makes a lot. So what I typically like to do is I like to just pull the outside leaves off of my cabbage. And that's what I typically use to make my slaw. In all, I'll probably say I use about 8 leaves of my cabbage. And I just like to split them down the middle, and I like to just slice them in really, really thin slices. So this is our cabbage, and if you can see, it's just really thin strips. So we're going to put this into our bowl. We're going to add in our onion. We are going to add 1 tablespoon of our minced garlic. We're also going to add 1 tablespoon of our white wine. About 2 tablespoons. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of our avocado oil. We're going to put in 1 tablespoon of our lemon juice. We are just going to use the rest of our fish seasoning. That is our slaw. You're just going to give that a really, really good stir. Now, our creamy sauce is really simple. In here, I do have a 1/2 cup of Miracle Whip. You can use Mayo also. And I do have 1 tablespoon of sour cream. To this, we are going to add 1 tablespoon of our oil. We are going to add 1 tablespoon of our lemon juice. For the creaminess, you all, we are going to add whole milk. But you'll need about 1 tablespoon to 1.5 tablespoons. And for the seasonings, we are just going to use a little bit of our Creole Seasoning. And we're going to make sure that we stir this. If you want to use a whisk, that's totally fine, but a spoon works just as well. We're going to come back, assemble our tacos, and we're going to taste this awesomeness. Now it is time for us to start assembling our fish tacos. And you all, I just like to pop my tortillas in the microwave for about 15 or 20 seconds just to kind of give them a little more flexibility. What I like to do is I like to just kind of split them down the middle. Take that and just kind of break it up on my tortilla. Okay. Now I'll take my slaw, give it a good mix. I'll just take a little bit of that, put it on there. I like to put on my mango salsa, my creamy sauce on, put me some cheese on. I like to kind of fold my bottom in, and you can see it is super stuffed. So just take that, fold it over, and wow. You get the sweetness from the mango salsa. You get the crunchiness from your cabbage sauce. You kind of get like a tang / sweetness from your sauce, and of course your fish is super, super, super seasoned. When you make this recipe, make sure you leave your comments, your pictures. Let me know if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you changed something about it. Let me know. If you want to keep seeing our easy, easy, easy homemade recipes, make sure you like, subscribe, and share our channel. As I always say, cooking is as easy or as hard as you make it. But I promise you, if you just keep it simple, be yourself, life in itself can be so much easier. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Homemade. And until next time, continue to be great.